Do they got me? Y'all got me?
Yes, we do. Did you hear me?
Yep, I did. Well, first of all, just college football. It's a crazy world, and obviously we had a range of emotions yesterday, and with a disappointing rivalry game loss, but you got to play them all out, and then you count them up at the end. And for us, we're super excited, to be back in this conference championship for the 10th time in the past 16 years, and we earned it. You play them all. We all get 8 games, and we went 7-1, and man, I want to congratulate SMU going 8-0 in the league. What a great year they've had. Congratulate Rhett and the job he's done, and look forward to competing against them in a great matchup, one of the best venues that you can play in up there in Charlotte, and should be a heck of a game. So just thankful to have the opportunity to be playing this week, and I'm proud of our team. Again, we had a good regular season. We didn't finish great the way we wanted to, but now it's all about postseason. You get what you qualify for, and we've qualified for our league championship. We've earned that, and so now, see if we can go find a way to win this thing.
Thanks, Coach. We're going to take questions. As a reminder, give us your name and affiliation before you ask the question. We'll start with David Hale.
Dabo, David Hale with ESPN. You guys obviously have a chance to earn your way into the playoff with a win here. I'm curious if you feel that the opposite should apply for SMU if they were to lose. Should that impact their playoff positioning or seeding or eligibility? And sort of maybe as a follow-up to that, what do you make of the ACC's overall strength and deservedness to have multiple teams in this 12-team field?
I mean, the ACC has had a great year. There's a bunch of teams that I think are 8, 9+ wins. There's going to be a bunch of bowl-eligible teams. It's been a very competitive year in the league. You've seen teams that have competed at a high level outside of the league. I think, we've certainly scheduled, tough. We do that every year here. But I think for SMU, I mean, obviously I know they want to win the game, but I think they should be in no matter what. I think they've earned that. I mean, I don't think that they should be punished with whatever the outcome in this game is. I know the system is what it is, and it's been set up, but they're an 11-1 football team, and they have done an awesome job. And obviously for us, we got to win. I mean, it is what it is. It's playoff football for us. I mean, we qualified for the postseason, and as crazy a day as yesterday was, for the first time since before the Louisville game, we control our destiny. So and again, if we'd have had a great regular season, then maybe we would have that opportunity. But we've got to win. But SMU, I think they should be in, and quite frankly, I can't imagine that Miami wouldn't be in. They lost to a really good Georgia Tech team. We saw Georgia Tech, in the crazy game they had with Georgia at Georgia, and then they lost to a good Syracuse team who's 9-3. So I mean, they got probably as good a quarterback as there is in the country. So, I mean, I think it's been a tough league. This year. And again, you got 17 teams. And, for us to be one of the 2 that qualified to go play in this league championship, again, I'm really proud of that. But I think the league deserves the recognition. And we'll see how it all plays out. But for us, we know. I mean, it's pretty simple with us. We got to go win.
Let's go next to Andrea Adelson.
Dabo, I was wondering if you were home watching the Miami-Syracuse game and kind of how quickly you and the team pushed the disappointment of the South Carolina game behind you once you saw what had happened in the Miami-Syracuse game.
Yeah, Andrea, I actually was at home. I had just gotten home. We have a lot going on after games at home, recruiting, and then you got press conference, and you got the TV show, all that stuff. There's a lot going on. and by the time I got home, I actually didn't even have it on until I got home, because I think it was 21-0. And so I didn't even have it on. I didn't know what was going on. And then I got home, it was 35-28. And I was like, wow. And then all of a sudden when the game was over, my phone starts blowing up from all the players and, friends and, colleagues and all that stuff. And then not long after that, I get a FaceTime call from Fran Brown. That was wild. That was, put that in my memoir one day. That was the first. And he was hilarious on the FaceTime call. But hey, a range of emotions. Obviously, a ton of disappointment. That game is a season of its own. I've been in 21 of them. I've won a bunch of them, and I've had some tough losses. And yesterday was a very tough loss, and it hurts. Because it means a lot to a lot of people. And we were in position to win the game, and we didn't get it done, and they did, and they earned the bragging rights and to be the best team in the state this year. They earned it. And so that hurts. It's a tough way to end the regular season, but to see it in that moment, and then all of a sudden, man, your emotions go, wow, hey, we're in the championship, and we earned that as well. And excitement kind of took over, and started thinking about what my Sunday was going to look like, as opposed to what it was going to look like if they didn't win that game. So excited to be at work this week, excited to have another game to play and an opportunity for a conference championship. And if you do that, you qualify for bigger and better things. Anything can happen, so we were fortunate for sure. Things worked out our way. It's like I told my wife, it's like, we had pocket sixes and a 2, and we hit a 2 on the river for the classic 2 pair to win it. So, hey, but a win's a win, and we got an opportunity to go see if we can be the ACC champs.
We'll go next to David Hood.
Hey, Coach. Well, actually, I'd like to hear now. Now, I had a different question, but I'd like to hear a little bit more about Fran Brown. When you answered it, what I guess you saw was Coach Brown. What did he have to say to you?
Yeah, I can't really repeat what he said. It was kind of colorful, but hilarious. And I appreciated the call, and he was fired up, man. He was fired up and excited for us. But yeah, I can't really repeat what he said. But that was a great call. Really appreciated that. I didn't even know he had given me a shout out on TV. I didn't know. I had all kind of people sending me that, but yeah, pretty cool. So,
and for your team, you say your phone started going off. Is this good for your team and your program to kind of, it's a disappointing week, but now all of a sudden everybody has a chance to kind of turn the page from that rivalry game and say, hey, it's still all there for us?
Come on, David. Is it good?
Yeah.
Of course, man. What kind of question is that? We're playing for a freaking championship. It's like the NFL now, in that you have, it's a 17-team league, right? And, you don't get to play everybody, and some games mean more than others, and we go just like in the NFL. They got divisions and conferences, and, you see teams with losing records get in the playoffs, right? It's all about winning the right games and qualifying. And, you're pissed off and disappointed about missing an opportunity yesterday for sure. And you hurt for that, but because we could have had a great regular season, and we came up short. But we're 7-1 in our league, and we're playing for a championship, for the 10th time in 16 years. So you dang straight. That's it's not good. It's great. That's great when there's 17 teams competing for the same thing, and only 2 get a chance to go have a chance to win it. Yeah, that's great. And we were 4-4 in the league last year. So we didn't accomplish all of our goals this year to this point, but we got better, in a lot of areas. And again, in particular, conference. We weren't in the championship last year. And so we went from 4-4 to 7-1, and we're back in it. And we're playing a hot team. We're playing one of the best teams in the country that's playing with a lot of precision on both sides of the ball. And we're going to have to play our best football, and we've not done that yet. We were close. We had some opportunity yesterday, and we didn't do it. But you know what? It ain't too late to play our best football. And, hopefully we can find a way to get that done this week and hold that trophy up. But it'll be a tall task.
Let's go next to Mark Henry.
Coach, Mark Henry, SMU Rivals. Talk about the adversity that you guys have faced this year, how this team is stuck together. I mean, not everybody's getting the opportunity to play for a championship within their own conference. And I think that says something about the coaching staff, and this team seems to be a close-knit bunch.
No, there's no question. It is a close-knit bunch. And, man, there was a lot of pain in that locker room yesterday, a lot of hurt. And they laid it on the line. They competed their butts off. And, we're a team that's just continued to keep moving forward. And, again, we had one disappointing conference game, but we rallied and we've got to 7-1. And you can only play the games you got. So I'm really proud of them. They've competed their butts off all year. And again, this is what it's all about. At the end of the day, everybody wants a chance to play in your championship. And regardless of how you get there, whether you're 12-0 or 9-3, it doesn't matter. What matters is what you do on that day. And in the way the system is set up now, again, you have an opportunity. We got a chance to go to our 7th college football playoff with a win. And anything can happen, so it's college football. Anything can happen. But I'm proud of how they've stuck together. We got a lot of most of our team is going to be back next year. And these kids have really grown in a lot of ways. Our quarterback has had a heck of a year. He really has. And, our offensive line has had a heck of a year. Just losing one of those guys. We've had defensive linemen step up. We've got a good kicker. We got some young skill on both sides of the ball that have done a lot of good things. And so, we got a lot of great days ahead for us at Clemson football. But it's about finishing this year, the very best we can. And again, to have this opportunity in the postseason is a blessing. And I'm proud of how everybody's hung in there and have kept battling. And now let's see if we can go have the type of postseason that we all dream about.
Let's go next to Chapel Fowler.
Hey, Chapel Fowler, the state. Dabo, post-game, South Carolina tried to plant their flag at midfield. There was at least the teams were, I don't think they threw hands or anything like some of the other games yesterday, but there was like some altercation at midfield. I know you were not directly in the middle of that, but were you able to get any context on that or maybe address it with the team or anyone at South Carolina yesterday or today?
Chapel, how do you know I wasn't directly in the middle of it? You obviously don't know because I was dead in the middle of it and lucky to get out alive. It was dangerous. It was scary. And, it was dangerous. And we got to make sure that doesn't happen anymore. And we can't be hypocrites either. And listen, I honestly hadn't really been a part of much of that, but, that was something that happened here a couple years ago. And then last year we went down there and we had a player go plant a flag and I didn't know about that till after it happened, and disappointed in that. And then again this year, that seems to be a thing. And and listen, it just shouldn't happen. And Shane and I will talk about that and make sure that that doesn't happen moving forward, because that's dangerous and people could have got hurt. It could have been a bad situation. I know you saw a lot worse at some other places for the same thing, but Shane and I both got to do a better job in that, and we will. I promise you, we win down there next year, or whenever we win there again. That's not something we're gonna do. I'm gonna make sure of that. And you win. Hey, you got bragging rights. You certainly want to celebrate that and be excited about that, as you should. But just can't happen. But it could have really gotten out of hand yesterday because there's a lot of people down there. And so I think we can all be better there, and we're in that too, because I know that we had a player do that last year down there, and it's not something that we need to really be involved in. Let's win the game. Let's celebrate with our team, and shake hands and let's move on. That's what we need to do. So I think there's a lot that everybody across college football can learn from yesterday, because that was a bad look for college football.
Thanks.
David Teal?
Dabo, David Teal with the Daily Press in Virginia. Beyond sleep deprivation, what are the challenges of multitasking National Signing Day with championship game prep?
I mean, it's just another day at the office. I mean, it's just what we do. It's a constant. We have a huge staff. We have a whole recruiting department. I mean, we have lots of people who help manage all those type of things. It just kind of is what it is. This is the high school date coming up this week, and then which I'm glad they moved off the portal time. So a lot of these high school kids can get signed and get in place, and then you figure it out from there. But it just kind of, just another day at the office. There's always something to manage, always something going on, lots of multitasking. But again, we got a great staff who's on top of all that stuff.
Bailey Sheffield?
Coach, so I know when y'all play in this championship game that these guys are really going to be tussling, the contest can be close. So when it gets to the nitty gritty of that, how do you plan on managing the clock?
How do I plan on managing the clock? Well, we just our normal, we have a clock management system in place, depending on whether you're trying to milk the clock, where you're up, kind of a 4-minute type of offense, or, and a lot of that depends on how many timeouts they have, or vice versa. We're behind, and, now you're trying to manage your timeouts. We actually had, that yesterday, we're trying to save our timeouts, and what was disappointing in how that ended, because we had it really set up the way we wanted, and we just had, a bad play right there at the end, but and didn't get a chance to finish it off. But we have a system in place, regardless if you're up or if you're down, and then, do you need a field goal? Do you need a touchdown? And how many timeouts do we have? How many timeouts does the opponent have? And all of those things dictate, how you do your clock management. I assume that I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, it did. Thank you.
Let's go to Larry Williams.
Hey, Dabo. I know you talked briefly on this after the game yesterday on Sammy Brown not really playing much in the fourth quarter, but I just was curious if you could provide more insight into the thinking, like here a day later after y'all have gone over the tape, on changing the personnel grouping, what went into that, and just it seemed like Sammy was having a pretty productive game before that.
Yeah, they just went into, a more of a nickel package. And, he started in our base package, and, we had a good game, So, he's had a good season, and that's really it. Just coach's decision there. Doesn't mean you're always making the right decisions, but, we went into a little bit more of a nickel as opposed to get a little more speed on the field and our nickel package. And, but that's it.
We'll go next to Steve Lansdale.
Coach, you spoke about how well SMU's playing this year, and since you're less than 24 hours into knowing that you're in this game, obviously you haven't done a full evaluation, but you did coach against him when he was the offensive coordinator at Miami, and I'm wondering if you can describe some of the challenges you anticipate for your team as you prepare to face a Rhett Lashley coach team.
Yeah, we did. We had our scouting group go ahead and do some breakdown of them. We obviously knew they were in the championship game, and we knew we had an opportunity, so we didn't want to just be start from scratch on Sunday if it worked out. So we at least had kind of our base scouting stuff done for today. But I've seen them on a couple of crossover, games. Pitt and Louisville, I believe. Those are a couple of games that I've had a chance to put my eyes on them a little bit this year, but just getting going on the totality of them. But the biggest thing is, they're going to play fast. They're going to stress you with their splits. Really, really explosive running back. I think they've got a a lot of veteran players they've done a good job. You know, the offensive line has been really good for them all year. They've been a really stout defense, but I think offensively, you know, this quarterback is a problem. I mean, he's a dynamic player. He can really extend plays. They've got really good skill outside. You know, they've got I think a really, really good passing game. But that back is explosive, man. He's really, really good. So I just think they're a complete group. That's why they're are who they are this year. They've really played incredibly well, and I think they had some personnel, you know, change when they went with this new quarterback, and man, he's delivered for them. And then they've won, you know, the close game. You know, so scoring a bunch of points. So it's you know, that's been a challenge for everybody that they played. So it's a good football team, and again, I'll dive a little bit more into their personnel as we go through the night and then tomorrow. But you know, there's no doubt. I mean, to me, I think they're certainly, again, regardless of what happens in this game, you know, I don't. There's no question they deserve to be, you know, in the playoff.
Let's go to Wes Pruitt.
Good afternoon, Coach. Wes Pruitt, 4-Star Sports Media. You spoke on it earlier a little bit about the recruiting process, the window moving. Just want to get a little more insight on not only your thought process on the recruiting window moving around, but also on the portal, and if your mindset towards the portal may have shifted any during the season.
My mindset is always about what's best for Clemson. And that's the way it's been for 16 years, and we do whatever that is. We've signed a kid out of the portal 2 out of the last 3 years. If you check our roster and our talent, we've got a really good roster, and you know, we've been second or third in retention. But we'll use whatever tool we have, just like whatever we have, we make those decisions. What's best for Clemson, and it all that depends on who's leaving, who's back, who are your starters. Believe in those guys that you have. If not, then you've got to either have somebody that's coming in that you like a Wesco or TJ Moore that you think's elite, an Ashton Hampton that you want to spend the next few years with. You have or Peter Woods or TJ Parker that you really know, hey, this guy is the guy. If you don't have that, then you try to go get that. So, but I think everybody's going to have to recruit the portal. With going to 105 and the way the system is set up, you know, so we just haven't had many guys leave our program that we haven't had the starter here that we believe in, you know, so we just haven't. Most of the kids that have left our program have been backups, and they just want to go somewhere and play, so you have a decision to make. Just like this past year, we had a decision to make. With Ryan Linthicum, he was a guy. We lost a center who's on the active roster for the Raiders now, and Will Putnam, who was a really good player. Everybody else is back, so we actually looked at a couple of portal guys, but we didn't get them. And then we said, okay, let's give Ryan a chance this spring. And by the end of spring, we're like, we're good. This guy's going to get it done. And guess what? He has gotten it done. He's been as valuable a player that we have, and he's on his 4th year, and he's got another year. So that's what kept us out of the portal last year, is we really love the receivers that were coming in. We love our running back. We love Linthicum and where he was. A lot of people wanted me to go get a portal quarterback, but we believe in Kate Klubnik, and he's had a great year. So you know, we had Sammy Brown coming in at linebacker to go along with Woodaz and Barrett. We had all them D linemen back, and we believe in those guys. So, you know, I know there's a lot of narratives out there that people love to make up and write whatever they want to write and hear what they want to hear. We're going to do what's best for Clemson. We always do that. But it's what's best for Clemson is a reflection of what your roster looks like year in and year out. So, but I don't see – I see very few programs that won't have to sign some portal kids with, again, going to 105 and then just the way things have been set up.
We'll go next to Josh Butler.
Hey, Coach, I appreciate you taking your time. Josh Butler with Rivals SMU. Can you speak on the growth and the leadership of Cade over the last few years?
Yeah, it's been awesome. He came in here as a true freshman and really wasn't ready to play. Got a little experience. He was kind of physically not quite ready, and just hadn't had a lot of football adversity. Had very little. I think the closest game he had was maybe 14 points in high school, and won 3 state championships, won the Elite 11, and life was good. And he ends up being the starter in this game and won the MVP of the ACC championship game as a freshman. And then his second year, he had a rough start where he was just inconsistent and a lot of negative plays, but he really finished well last year, and he carried that momentum into this year, and he's become. Last year he was trying to become the leader of the offense, and now he's a leader of the team, and I'm really proud of him. He's gotten better and better, and again, he'd be the first to tell you he had a critical mistake yesterday, but he also had a ton of great plays, and he has had a heck of a year for us. He really has. And when you look at what he's done statistically, he's just everything he needed to do this year. First of all, he's physically better. He's been incredibly impactful with his legs, which is an area he needed to improve. He's taking care of the ball better. So much less negative plays than what he had as a first-year starter. So, good players get better if they're coachable and they're made of the right stuff, and he epitomizes that. So, and then from a leadership standpoint, I mean, he has just become truly a voice for the team. I mean, because he's a hard worker, man. These kids see it. So they love Cade and believe in him, and I'm thankful he's got another year. He's just going to continue to get better.
David Hale.
You said earlier, Dabo, that you didn't think that you guys had played your best game yet. I know if you look at sort of the 3 losses are probably the 3 best opponents that you've played, just talent-wise. What gives you sort of confidence that this team is capable of playing their best game this week against SMU, which certainly from a record standpoint will be the best team that you guys have faced so far?
Because we've been right there. I mean, we match up. I mean, we can be explosive. We got a quarterback that's playing well for us. We've got skill. Man, we got some dudes up front that can really play in the line of scrimmage. Our offensive line has been tremendous. The way they've protected all year long has been really, really good. And I thought yesterday I think South Carolina's had a great year, and I thought it was an incredibly physical game on both sides, and it came down to the last play. And so I just think they're battle tested, heading into and they know they can win. Now we got to go win. I thought we found a way to lose yesterday, and I thought they found a way to win. And but hey, it's all over now. That's behind us. It's all about this moment. But what makes me believe that is I know who these guys are. I know what they're capable of doing. I'm with them every day.
Take another question from Cole Gerard.
Hey, Coach Sweeney, Cole Gerard with all Clemson Tigers. What's Tyler Brown's status heading into the ACC championship, and should we see him in this upcoming matchup with SMU?
Yeah, well, obviously he's been out all year, but we're hopeful that he's going to be able to get back into practice this week. He's hadn't played all year, we'll see. We anticipate him practicing, but I don't know much more than that until I really see him out on the field and see how he does.
Thank you.
Mark Henry.
Coach, you mentioned Bryant Wesco, SMU rivals, Mark Henry. I had a chance to see him play at Midlothian when he was a preps high schooler. He seems to be emerging. Had a couple big catches. You talked about him as emerging. Talk about him, maturing and getting more time and becoming a bigger part of your offense.
Yeah, he's going to be a special player. And he had a good game yesterday, but we just missed him by a foot on a slant route that probably goes to the house. So it's a game of inches there, but I'm really proud of him. I mean, you saw him in high school, so really long, lean kid, incredibly explosive, a ton of confidence. And man, he came in January and he's still a work in progress physically, But I think another year off season, as far as really physically developing, I think is going to help him a ton. But he's fast, he's confident, he's an incredibly smart kid. He can really play any of the positions. To walk in here and win a starting job, man, he's earned it. And good to see him on that stage yesterday make some of the plays that he made. So it's just sky's the limit for that kid. Great kid, great family, and he's just going to keep getting better and better and better. Super excited about, he and TJ and what they both were able to do this season, and now they've got confidence. They're not freshmen anymore going into the postseason. So hopefully they'll make some great plays in this postseason that'll everybody will remember them for.
Coach, we appreciate you being with us. We look forward to seeing you this week in Charlotte, and hope you have a great week up to that point.
Okay. Hey, thank you. See you guys soon. Appreciate it.
Thanks.